ArtNet, and there are records that you can refer to. And you just mentioned about the laws of supply and law of demand. But in times for like artists who do a lot of installation, not a lot of people would be able to purchase them for space-wise or for other reasons. However, some of the times these artists are quite big in the market, and in that case, how would you actually price the work? And my second question is, when you look at auctions and galleries, do they price differently? Because sometimes there are people who would go for auctions for cheaper stuff, but from what I see, it actually varies. Sometimes galleries do price it cheaper than the auction house, and how do you actually reference to that?
Thank you very much for the two questions. They're both brilliant questions. I'm no expert to answer correctly, but I can start an argument with you. First, in terms of installation art and having, because it's big and cannot be collected easily, how do people price the work? But they are big in names. So first, if they are big in names, that means they have already been compared, and then you can just go through here. But in terms of being an installation artist from the start, then again, either the artists have to do this thorough study from the beginning all the way to here and start the price, or I'm pretty sure those names that we're thinking about, the very established or very high potential installation artists would have a representative like galleries who already have experience in pricing installation. There's no difference. I mean, honestly, video, installation, performance, everything has a price tag. We don't have to really be concerned that in this world and time, we don't paint anymore, but do I actually have to be a painter because I don't know how people will price my idea of a performance. Again, I can invite you to just trust this market, that it is not perfect yet, but it is not very oldish. I think there are enough experts in any field of art in the market who can help price it. And of course, as a start, nobody cares, then you will have to do this exercise yourself. But if you understand that law correctly, like that, you don't think that you are like inelastic in demand, but you actually understand you're quite elastic and quite price sensitive. If we price our work accordingly, then I think you can start, artists can start. Second question about the differential between gallery prices and auction prices is a great question. And the problem is there. It is a problem, but I don't think it is a market-breaking problem because the market is still very healthy standing there. It is a market problem because most of the galleries, including galleries in Hong Kong Art Gallery Association, most of us are small. We can't even say we're SME. We're below SME level. We don't even fit in SME definition in Hong Kong. So a lot of galleries are started, I mean, worldwide, not just Hong Kong. I think apart from the 200 galleries that you see in Basel or 300 galleries that you see in Frieze, most other galleries are really started by people who have a passion in art, and they may not have economics or finance training, and very often they may price the prices incorrectly. Good news is you can kind of Taobao, you can find your treasure. I found a piece that was $3,000 when the artist should have been like at least $200,000. Like I bought that piece in Japan because that gallery didn't know how to price this contemporary artist. Yeah, so it's actually good news for collectors. But the comfort, I think, is that the market is still very healthy and very strong, so I don't think this is a systematic problem. Should we take a break? Thank you.
Let's take a 10 minutes break, so you can feel free to mingle and drink water or go to the washroom. We will be back in 3:56. Okay.
something
有冇研究過？有研究啊，嗰啲插板嘅。做 yes。呢個係 Michelle 啊，係啊，呢個係 Abby 啊，係啊。
No, I mean she's busy playing.
有隻貓，之後就係啊，記得你，我成日俾杯仔佢玩㗎。You must feel lovely. 即係佢麻辣濃湯，麻辣湯。
I don't really follow it. I understand what you're saying.
跟住想飲啲嘢，你冇肚餓，係咪啊？你想唔想食啲嘢？唔係飲啲嘢。我而家就好飽咯，其實。
Yes, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Just one of my
pieces, perfect collection, and then it's a reminder. 呢個水係我 treat us, so it becomes complete.
Okay. Okay, that's fantastic.
It's really important to be one because each one is about treat us.
我唔記得咗老師啦嘛。你嚟玩定係食歌手聽下咁樣？你仲喺度喎？你仲喺度？係啊，因為我分唔到你哋 attend my working 我唔喺度嘅，因為我哋同事喺度。我係聽茶。
I went to that. I went to Basel.
I went to Basel too, but I was there.
Yeah. And then I went to the other one. Singapore Bank.
Oh yes,
Art Central.
Art Central, yes, Art Central.
Yeah. So where were you in?
If you ask why you think you must have it actually changed into purple.
我哋 OK 啊，都係傾住咯。因為你已經作家啦，又係又有埋 first row。
Yeah. So it was a good site you had.
Okay. Yeah, it's the first time we come to attend the fair that year, and then good result for me. 落去㗎。I saw而家我哋又做西九嘅。西九同邊度 work 緊？西九就係3 but this was enough for me, so I came.
Did you sell mostly in preview or
I saw in my solo exhibition. Solo exhibition in March.
Okay. No, but in the other fair, there's a preview
Yeah,
day.
2 weeks of solo. So the last week is the last day. And it is
So most of you buy because I have a fear of it. I mean, in the end, so well, no numbers there, right? So at the top end, Basel, everything is driven by a small number.
Yes.
So, and everything's sold in the preview. So you go in the first preview day, special day. You go around the next days, and a lot of people, they don't care. The galleries are not worried, right? Because what they care about is the preview. But in affordable art, because I got the preview ticket, but I couldn't make it, so I went to
using the same they are all experienced and established who look after for an artist before as soon as possible to get pieces because pieces is really and if they go late for an hour and after they got it they miss the chance to collect and price or maybe they really so they try to go and afterwards when you go earlier you just need more work if you go late
thing that interests me is that the affordable art and whatever, there's hardly anything for Vietnam. There's nothing, hardly anything for Vietnam. So lots of Korean, sort of Korean stuff.
Yes.
Vietnamese. Because I lived in Vietnam in 2013.
There are some like
but there isn't there to have a look at. So I went to Gujarat Archive. So they were explaining that during the war it was all socialist art and communist pictures of people and all that crap. Before that it was sort of very Orient, very Frenchified, and then it hasn't sort of really developed its own stuff, right?
yeah, I totally agree. It's a market, it's like money game. And art itself is art. It's not about money. But now people, in market there's only two people here, artists and collectors. And everyone survives between them. Everyone. The market is built from these two. And then this is a money game. And when you study the rules of the game, you will find a way to do it. But if you're looking for another game like culture or real art, it's nothing about money. But somehow they can come together. They'll be great artists, abstract artists. They carry some of the part of the main history in the art history. Art history is really, I would say, this is the most difficult game in the world, I guess, because you can never think of how to learn information about
So I think it's a very interesting market because it's not transparent, but it's very competitive. So you've got very competitive micro.
That's what I can say. And when you're looking at people always say you can check the Austrian result. It is not everything. Austrian research just representing the Yes. I just talked to my curator regarding introducing to Germany. He's corrected it all law nations. She was Hana, manager and working. I study in for people.
We will have some Q&A
Background
sessions at a later part. So I give back to stage to
Thank you. Let's go through. Let's do the questions at the end, but I just have a few very minor slides to go through because Mr. Taekwondo is here. I don't want to speak shaking, but because the organizer gave me this topic about pricing and display, so I'm thinking about something more from a personal side instead of a very like professional kind of structure, right? So how should I display my artwork? Well, first, is the curation of your work well thought out, like in general, or is it something just, oh, I don't have time, I'm just going to stick them up the wall and stuff like that? Can you justify the design of the space? Or is it, sometimes we're lucky nowadays to see a lot of shows everywhere in Hong Kong. There are over 2,000 shows in Hong Kong per year now in visual arts. So a lot of time we talk tons of pictures, and we may just be inspired by a lot of amazing artists and curators. But my only one question is, when you design your own work, your own space, are you really putting this up because you can justify the space as compared to your work? Or are you just kind of being inspired by people by the format? Are you overdoing things? Is every single thing that you're doing for your space necessary? If it's not, then take it away. Have you been reassessing yourself every minute? Are you a perfectionist? You have to be a perfectionist to curate your own show. You just have to be self-defending and also self-cursing yourself and just negating yourself. And that's how I do my shows. And will you easily compromise your ideas due to the limitations that you've got, like time, money, resources, help, workers? Or if there are limitations, are you just compromising, or are you flexible enough to change your plan immediately, yet it's still perfect? Yes?
I have a problem about that making an artwork. When I start working, like right now I'm working on a series in 2 years, like I'm working on it. And every time I go back and look at the first piece I made, I have to work on it because it is so different from the last piece I made. I mean, is it important for an artist to have some work? I mean, the idea at the first place when we start the series is we think it's good enough. When we start, we think the level is good enough. But after like 2 years I'm working on one series, and then I go back and see the first pieces. I mean,
so this slide that I'm talking about is about display of work and not about the quality of your artwork. But if I can support just sharing, I would seldom criticize on someone's artwork, kind of year on year criticizing. Because if you've done something 2 years ago and you've done something now, I would think that has become part of your process. And then, I mean, you are the best person to criticize your own work through a timeline. But I am not trying to address this point here.
I'm talking about the duration of it.
Okay, okay.
It's not it's
Sure. Okay, so if it's, for example, it's a series of work and you started the curation process of that series of work 2 years ago, and you come back 2 years later and you still want to improve, I think you should improve. Because I think the thing is, for the curation of the work, when you are almost ready to display your work, how the organizer work, or to curate it and show the world, then I would try my best to make it perfect. So if you self-criticize yourself and think that the things that you've done 2 years ago are not good enough for yourself, then of course Are you flexible enough to are you going to compromise and just show those things 2 years ago, or are you not? You're not going to compromise and you be flexible and to present what you're thinking now. So my question is, I think I've answered that already, because sometimes I would have written a proposal for a show, and at the last minute, okay, this is about, I can say it, Hattie Chang, okay, one of my artists, Hattie Chang, he's amazing, he's young, and we got him into doing a solo show at a tender age of 28 in Art Basel in 2013. We have been discussing with him about his idea, and then he suddenly came to me like just shortly after we have, just a short moment before we have to submit our proposal to Art Basel, that he would want to change completely his idea from A to B, which are trees. And I was like, okay, trees. And then, yeah, but at the end, I looked at the artist, he was passionate about it, and for me as a gallerist, I would have to let him change everything, because working on a proposal, as you know, would take a lot of time. But then if an artist has lost the passion in plan A, you cannot force the artist to do plan A again. So are you flexible enough to change it right away, or are you going to compromise? So that's all about this play. I just want to show off some of our booth. So 2014 Art Basel with Peng Wei. 2015 Art Basel with Zhang Yanzi with the medical science theme. 2016 with the theme of China at an instance. And just this past year with the theme of perception. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions on anything that's related to today?
In the video you showed, it talked about size. Can you address a little bit about size relating to price? Does size matter?
Okay, size does matter, I think, but I don't think it's definitely size. Bigger size equals bigger money. Size does matter, of course, because personally I think you have to justify the size of the work with your concept. Why do you want to have a tiny piece of work? Why do you want to magnify work in like a huge, like in a huge installation piece? I think size does matter. First is to justify the perfection of the concept and to be translating that into your artwork. And then in terms of market, definitely in terms of traditional market that I show, people do charge more generally with a larger piece of work, especially in paintings. But it doesn't mean that they would directly multiply that with the per square foot price. They may have that reference, but then they would adjust it according to all the things that we've spoken about.
May I invite Judy to join the stage to facilitate the next session?
I have a question about patrons, like how gallery actually engage, how to find patrons for the artist. Because like when the artist has a patron, you don't need to like argue with money anymore for some. Because this is what I'm being taught. If you have a patron as an artist, and then he will keep buying your work, that will be fine. That is my thing. So another thing is that if that patron started to contact the artist like personally, that like because like for me, gallery is a medium towards artists and the collectors. What if the artists want to work with that patron like personally, and then it will just keep the whole gallery process? How gallery stands between like this conflict between patrons and artists within the context of money in some ways? Yeah.
Okay, would you like to define patron?
Patron means that, like for example, Saatchi, like Charles Saatchi is a patron for Damien Hirst. When he had the cow with flies and all that, he loves his work and tried to market his work on his own. So, for example, if some person like just a example, I love Zhang Daqian so much, and then I will pay $1 million per him. If he's still alive and still produce artwork, how do galleries engage in these sections? Like how do galleries stand between like art collector that is too so eager on the artwork, and sometimes they will neglect galleries and the pricing for that. They don't care because sometimes.
Okay, so I can try. Okay, I think from my point of view, patron or serious collector or big collector of a certain artist / patron stand on the same line with the gallery. Only if the artist actually has the gallery representation. Damien Hirst sometimes don't really need a gallery. When an artist is as amazing and as commercially minded as Damien Hirst, perhaps the Damien Hirst company and corp is bigger than the gallery, then you don't need the gallery, just don't need the gallery. But in most cases where I have been working with our artists, and we do have a lot of institutions or supportive big collectors who follow the career of our artists, and we actually work closely with the collector / patron, because there are definitely a different type of personality or different type of feature that a patron can do, which a gallery can't. So I can see there being a lot of complementary roles between the two. But I mean, if the patron is actually a gallery, and then or is functioning as a gallery, then perhaps the artists don't need a gallery.
And as I said in my introductory remarks, ArtNext is an artist-led art fair in the sense that the exhibitors are the artists themselves. But this is not to say that galleries or any sort of middle person is not important. It's actually very important. It's just that we think that many artists, especially at maybe an early stage of their career, might not have the chance to work with a good gallery. And in this sense, or that artist is a type of artist who is not that appropriate at a certain point of his career to work with a gallery. So ArtNext, like some other art fairs of a similar positioning, is to try to give alternative, an additional channel, additional way for younger artists to access the collectors, and also for the collectors to have a chance to maybe understand the artists directly. But this is not to say that a gallery is not important, or when a patron or artist, a patron or collector want to talk to a artist, necessarily means it's going to sort of cut off the middle person. I don't think that's the case. I think the market is big enough, dynamic enough to have different channels and different ways of cooperating. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Perhaps, like in this case, ArtNext could be organizing some systematic tours and invitation to Hong Kong Art Gallery Association or other art galleries in China or in Asia to bring them as VIPs to your fair, and for hopefully, because for galleries it's easier because we can centralize, see all these younger artists in the same place. I think that's a good idea. It's like Murakami with his Geisai idea, where he also just arranged space for artists too, and then he would match artists with galleries.
Exactly. That's why we are working together today. So Gallery Association and also the Art Administrator Association also partner with ArtNext, for example. And during our first art fair, we had around 100 artists. A lot are from Hong Kong, and actually after the first art fair, many of them have already started working with galleries. So we're happy that perhaps in a small part, ArtNext was able to help the gallery's owner get to know more, potential emerging artists in Hong Kong. So.
Actually, I have a very junior question as a junior artist. Do you encourage a graduate student or a junior artist to approach the gallery personally? And if they send you the, let's say, the personal portfolio with the artist, they have that level, what kind of criteria you will suggest they send you the best thing?
If you look at my inbox, I can show you that every day I have over 30 to 50 artists from the world who would send me their portfolio, because at the early stage of my career, I have placed myself in every part of the world where I can locate artists. So because my email is with Saatchi Gallery, is with all these universities, so people will send me the portfolio, and I would look at every one of them. But for Hong Kong artists, or for an artist who is going to approach their respective local galleries, my suggestion is the following. I would not like to receive an email that is to everyone. I mean, it's not very difficult to find my name on the internet. If you want somebody to help you build a career, please find the name of the person that you're looking for before you send that email, and try to send it individually to these people. Secondly, I've been receiving things with WinDat, Dropbox, OneNote 63, all kinds of cloud in the world that I try to open, and usually if I cannot open the file, I will not take any more steps to go home and reopen it in my computer. So make sure that your whatever file that we want people to open can be opened in an iPhone. So accessible for the person you want to reach, address the person personally. And thirdly, I have actually signed up artists who approached us, and I would love that when the artists actually come to the gallery and bring a hard copy of their portfolio and ask to see me,